Hey, hey. Hi, guys. All right. So, Taurus, we are going to take a look at the one who loves Taurus, not necessarily the one on Taurus's mind, not even necessarily anybody that Taurus would know has these emotions for them. And the reason I'm doing this story is because, it is said, and I believe it's true because, probably everybody on this planet can think of someone that they had attraction or love for that they never told. The crush that we never said we were crushing on. The person that we admire that we never told, or someone that we do love but we didn't say those words. Instead, we showed maybe attraction or affection, but maybe we didn't really convey what was in our heart. And so if everybody on earth probably loves somebody, there's undoubtedly at least one, if not more people that feel that way about Taurus as well. So this is just their portion of the story, whether or not Taurus knows this person or knows about this. So we have a 3 of Wands. This person looks to the future, whomever they are looking into the future. They envision themselves as this very powerful emperor. They envision themselves as Tyrannus. Their name could start with a T, by the way, or a T is somewhere in like their surname or their first name or something, like a crisp sounding name, like a like Trent is like a crisp name in my mind, but it could be like their last name is something that has like a T sound in it. We get a Princess of Pentacles. They are thinking about the day down the road. This is somewhere between 3 days to 3 months down the road when they can. I do feel like it's almost fantasy land as far as like them envisioning how they want to be seen, how they want to enter Taurus's life, how they want to be standing there and have Taurus see their powerful calf muscle. Maybe this person has like sinewy musculature. I'm not saying that they're actually proud of their calves. They don't have to be. It's just they do want to be seen as in their own fantasy, and we all have our own fantasy of the role we'd like to play, the person we'd like to be, the way we'd like someone that we love or admire to look at us. And they want to be seen as very powerful. So in this fantasy, somewhere in the next between now and the next 3 months, they envision finally feeling like this empowered emperor, and then starting, I'm going to say, a very important dialogue with Taurus, because that Page of Pentacles is a very important message. I almost feel like that's when they'll respond or reply to Taurus. Yeah, this is not good. Okay. So this is somebody who should have already been in dialogue with Taurus. They're not responding right now until they achieve something that makes them feel super powerful. Now, maybe like they're not going to respond for 3 hours until they're done at the gym doing leg day. Maybe it's as simple as that, or this is bigger than that. They want to feel super empowered. The reason I say this is not good is because we got the Justice card here. And granted, we have the Prince of Wands in the reverse, meaning this person is not out cheating. This person is not out running amok. This is somebody who the reason for their delay in communication with Taurus, I mean, maybe it's been 9 months. Maybe this has been a long time. They were in their mind, they're like going to pick up the conversation as if the conversation is still ongoing, even if there has been a significant gap. I don't know. I'm getting like 90 days too because of that 3-month window. But they want to pick up a conversation as if it was still ongoing. And that's craziness. Because it's as if they expect Taurus to just be on pause, like the way we can pause a movie or the way we can pause, listening to a piece of music or a book on tape. But you can't pause a conversation, a dialogue with another human like that. 4 of Wands, they think that they can pause everything, then come back on in, pick up right where they left off. Now they'll respond to Taurus, and at this point their response is, now I'm ready for something very serious. But I'm feeling like it's after a gap of a dialogue, or like sending messages or texting, or having started dating, having started dialoguing, and then it's just like they they don't respond to Taurus's last like text or Taurus's last message. And then after this huge gap of time, they're like back in it to win it now. They're back and conversing again. This could be very discombobulating. This person could also be a Libra. We've got Libra energy. I feel like Libra comes up a lot in Taurus stories. For the longest time, Taurus would always come up in their own story. And we used to get the Hermit a ton. And I just think that there's just some side notes there that I've noticed in the history of me, 5 years of doing Taurus videos. And I feel like that those things have come up consistently before. We have the World card. See, for them, they only see the world through their lens, which to a certain extent, as do we all. But they see the entire world as like where they're at in their own growth, or where they're at and what they want to accomplish. That is the only thought process that they operate from. I need to do this, therefore I'm going to do this first, then I'll talk to Taurus when I'm done doing what I need to. Again, we can't fault somebody for doing what they need to, but this says they're ready for a new beginning now. So ta-da, ready, here we go. And I just wonder, this is somebody who loves Taurus, but why did you want to wait 3 months to even have any more dialogue with Taurus? 8 of Swords sideways. I don't know. I was just kind of stuck. What were you stuck on? See, I keep getting this like vibe of somebody who's like up in their head about their own. I'm not saying that they are full of themselves or they think they're oh so much more special or that they're oh so much more important than Taurus. I don't want it to sound like that because I don't mean it that way. But we have a 9 of Wands. They weren't really wounded, not badly anyway. That 9 of Wands is a wounded warrior, but they had to feel empowered before they were going to take this next step or really engage with Taurus. Let me just ask, how did you engage with Taurus? Or I should say, how did you refrain from engaging with Taurus? We have a Princess of Wands. I think that this person like didn't even want to, I don't think they gave Taurus any big feel goods about like, damn, Taurus is super attractive. I think Taurus was left totally in the dark because this is the enigma, the great mystery, the Sphinx. By the way, Taurus may have amazing legs. They might have thought that, but I don't think that they gave any compliments or any feel goods to Taurus. They left everything with Taurus like questionable. Like I got the vibe they were interested in me, but then nothing. They never really said anything to me directly. I definitely feel like I'm going to stick with what I thought initially, which is this is a person who has an image in their mind of what they need to look like. They need their abs chiseled. They need great gastrocs in those calves. They need to feel like they're master of a ship. They have to feel powerful. They want their Viking beard to be a certain length. Actually, this is not Viking. This is Tyrannus, god of thunder, Jupiter. I'm picturing somebody that, this is a very classical male archetype, quite a bit of machismo here, quite a bit of protector energy here. Look, none of that is intended to sound like negative, but I will say if ever I had a deck where there is a negative spin to a terrific emperor, it's this deck. And that is only because it's so extreme. It doesn't have any of the balancing effects of the feminine. Like in this deck, we really need an emperor and an empress to come out together because he's so far, of one thing that, he has to have his complement. Lots of times I look at an emperor as somebody who's already a good ratio of masculine and feminine within them. They're at peace and at harmony. This deck is not that. This deck says when we get this emperor, he's really extreme. And if we look closely, for this justice card, they have the Libra scales here, and this is Isis, the goddess Isis, holding, basically the concepts of Ma'a and Isfet. But we have, is the heart light as a feather, which weighs more. But we have the balance between Ma'a and Isfet in the ancient Egyptian culture was the balance between harmony and chaos, and the acknowledgement that you did have to have both. You had to have harmony and chaos. You have to have some randomness in this world. But again, he's only one energy. And so he needs his complement, he needs his balance. And by withdrawing or withholding a dialogue, a conversation in mid conversation, for him not to put his energy in, meant he allowed there to be confusion. For him to not tell Taurus any kind of like, I'm interested, I'm taking care of some things that I need to because I need to feel more empowered. Taurus, I'll get back to you. Give me a day or two, or give me a month or two. But instead, I think that they just totally went off in their own head and said, I need to be full blown, like the best version of me. And then I can talk to Taurus. And then I want everything with Taurus. I'll be ready to get married. No, I haven't been off dating other people, cheating with other people. Oh, did I leave you in silence thinking that? Oh, that's not what that was about. It was just about me needing to become super whatever, fit and muscular and, whatever he was striving for. He only saw it through what his needs were, so that then he could be who he needs to be in order to say, now I know I'm allowed to marry Taurus, because I, in my own measurement of myself, I believe I am a catch now. Now I can say that I am worthy of offering marriage because I know that I have created something to offer. But again, we could say, well, that's nice that he wanted to work on himself. On the other hand, what about Taurus? He only sees it through his lens. King of Wands, again, very strong protector energy in this particular emperor. Very strong, because now we go to the god Horus. Horus is the falcon-headed god. He's that, eye of protection, the falcon eye that we see. That eye is, all around the world, we know that imagery, and it's always an image of protection. I'm just wondering if he really, really wants to be powerful enough to protect Taurus, if that's one of those things that he prides himself on. This feels like a very man's man. If we're going to talk about, a gender identity type of thing, that the masculine energy is all over this. It's like saturating this story, and particularly how he views himself. Now, this could be a her also viewing themselves as wanting to be that protector. And trust me, feminines are just, they've got the same protective instincts as well. Can be warriors and everything and still be a feminine. So it's not really gender specific what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the the drive, the energy of the sun, the intention. But yes, this is classic male archetype that we're talking about. It's just I don't really identify what genders we're talking about in the stories, because that part's irrelevant to me. But we have him thinking, this is who I need to be loving. I think he was so stern with himself. There's this huge austerity to him. And then once he achieves what he wants to, then he's like, now I can be warm and loving. So I do think this is going to be a very different person who enters into Taurus's life. They are going to be warm and loving, even though I also think this person is as stubborn as a freaking mule. And I could foresee obstacles between Taurus and this person, in the sense that they are very demanding of themselves with what they perceive they must be. And I don't think that it doesn't matter if Taurus loves them, accepts them just as they are. It would have been like, what do you mean you don't have to go do anything? Just be with me. It doesn't matter. They would not have budged. We have the Knight of Cups. They're just now ready to come toward Taurus. That could be a tough personality. It doesn't mean that it's not a wonderful personality. I'm not trying to, insult this particular character. We have a Knight of Wands. If anything, maybe Taurus is going to be like, okay, I've met other people that were players and didn't know what they wanted. At least he knows what he wants. I've met other people that, were mildly interested, but still hadn't fully formed who they were. I've dated other knights, but you're telling me that this is not a knight. This is a full-blown crazy-ass emperor, King of Wands, who's hell-bent to do what he wants to do and do it the way he wants to do it, and won't approach me or even complete the next phase of a conversation until he's got it dialed in. Because honestly, Taurus might be all about this. Be like, excellent. That's fine. I'll accept his austerity. I'll accept the way he does things, even if it's a little over the top with his, drive for excellence, because it's better than dealing with a bunch of knights that don't know what they're doing. Huh, here's a little plot twist. Taurus is like, I drive myself for excellence too. Yes, that is exactly. I want somebody to be just like him. Don't even approach me unless you got all your laundry washed, folded, and put away. Don't you come to me with a mess. You make sure you have dusted off and you look good, smell good. You did what you needed to for your life. Don't you bring me your messes. I expect somebody who matches me in sense of responsibility, sense of empowerment, and sense of identity. So I like it. If you didn't approach me until you got your shit together and you're proud of who you are, great. I want somebody who knows who he is because I know who I am. So all you're doing is matching me. Terrific. Now we can ride on this gondola together. Now we won't tip it over because we're perfectly balanced, perfectly matched. Honestly, this feels like Taurus's freaking dream come true. I don't think that this is a very specific kind of a Taurus, right? This character is somebody who's like, I like a kind of person who does what they need to for their personal, like to make themselves the best person they can possibly be. I believe in self development. I support a person doing that. And especially if he's doing it because he wants to give me the best of himself, hell yeah, that's worthy of me giving him some time when he shows up. I'm not mad about that at all. So I gotta say, terrific matchup for this Taurus. Honestly, I'm like, whew, I was worried about that for a minute because we had that Justice card there. But honestly, this feels like Taurus is no, that is totally all right with me. That's beautiful. Taurus, thank you for being here. Thanks for giving it a thumbs up and subscribing. Bye, guys.